Once upon a time, in a vast meadow at the edge of a forest, lived a curious little ant named Tony. Tony was not like the other ants. He often wandered away from the anthill, exploring the world beyond. One day, as Tony ventured farther than usual, he came upon a flock of sheep grazing lazily under the afternoon sun. One sheep in particular caught Tony's attention. Her name was Bella, and she looked sad, sitting away from the other sheep. Tony, being small but brave, approached her. He climbed up a blade of grass and spoke in his tiny voice, "Hey, there. Why do you look so sad?" Bella sighed, her wool rustling in the breeze. "Oh, little aunt," she said, "I am tired of always staying in one place. The other sheep never want to explore, and I want to see the world beyond this meadow. But they say it's dangerous, and I'm too afraid to go alone." Tony's eyes sparkled. "I know how that feels," he said, remembering his own adventures. "How about I help you explore? You don't have to be alone, and I'm good at finding my way around." Bella was skeptical at first. What could a tiny ant do to help her, a big sheep? But Tony's enthusiasm was infectious, and Bella found herself nodding. She rose to her feet, and Tony climbed up onto her wool, hitching a ride. The journey began. They ventured past the meadow, crossing a bubbling brook with Tony's directions. Tony found a sturdy log that served as a bridge for Bella, who nervously stepped across it. Next, they approached the edge of the forest. To Bella, the woods seemed dark and foreboding, but Tony scurried ahead, showing her there was nothing to fear. Together, they discovered wonderful things. Bella marveled at the tall trees that seemed to touch the sky, and Tony led her to a field of wildflowers that painted the ground in shades of red, blue, and yellow. Bella tasted sweet clover she had never seen before, and Tony found tiny mushrooms, perfect for a snack. As they traveled, Bella began to feel braver. She realized that with Tony by her side, even the scariest places became less frightening. Tony, too, felt a deep sense of purpose. He wasn't just an explorer now, he was a guide, a friend. Suddenly, they heard a rustling sound. Bella froze. From the bushes emerged a fox, its eyes glinting with curiosity and hunger. Bella panicked, but Tony quickly whispered, "Trust me." He pointed out a narrow path between the trees, too small for the fox but just big enough for Bella. She followed Tony's lead, squeezing through the narrow gap, her wool brushing against the bark. The fox tried to follow, but the space was too tight. Frustrated, it eventually gave up and trotted away. Bella's heart pounded, but she was safe, thanks to Tony's quick thinking. When they returned to the meadow that evening, the other sheep gathered around, amazed by Bella's tales of adventure. They listened as she spoke of the flowers, the forest, and how her little friend Tony had helped her face her fears. From that day on, Bella was no longer the timid sheep who sat apart. She was the brave explorer, with Tony always by her side. And the other sheep, inspired by their story, began to venture beyond the meadow too, one small step at a time. Tony and Bella had proven that no matter how small or big you are, courage and friendship can help you face any challenge. And together, they kept exploring, showing the flock that the world beyond the meadow was full of wonders waiting to be discovered.